I want to jump back to the vocational creativity piece really quick because it reminded me of a call I was on the other day with a parent and his daughter. We were on this call and he's a CPA and he was just saying, wow, as I was going through her options and we were talking about the jobs that ended up on her list in the launch program, he was just saying, wow, I feel so guilty that I couldn't find these or that I didn't know about any of these, because I think a lot of parents are feeling guilty because they don't know how to do hours and hours and hours of research and use all of these different things in order to find different job types and categorize them and lay them out clearly. And the thing that I just wanted to drive home to parents who feel guilty or feel bad that they don't know how to help their children navigate the choice and make it simple for their kids to choose what they're going to do after they graduate high school is that it's not something that you do every day. This guy's a CPA. He does his own version of that by reading really complicated tax code, taking people's problems and then synthesizing them down so it looks really simple in that you saved $23,000, blah, 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 as opposed to here's the tax code, good luck, figure it out yourself. It's going to take them hours and hours and hours and hours to even figure out how to do, their 1040 easy taxes because taxes are ridiculous. But that's a good example of how it's his job to read the tax code and synthesize really complicated stuff and make it really simple. You don't expect him to do anything else and know how to go into a Michelin star restaurant and cook a meal. Why? Because he's a CPA. That's his job. And in the same way, so for parents, especially if you're working, you have a full-time job and you don't know how to navigate this and you don't have the time in order to sit down and do all of the stuff to get up to speed where you can do all of this research and then compile it and then sit your child down and guide them through the process really methodically. Don't feel bad about that, because the reason we can do it is because we do it all the time and we invented all of these systems and all of this logic and all of these methods in order to do it efficiently. So don't feel bad if you feel kind of lost, because that's okay. You have a job that you're already doing. No wonder you don't have all of the time to go and figure out how to do it yourself.
I want to clarify. 1040 Easy is a specific form that you use when your taxes are very easy.
Yeah, but it's still not easy though.
It's very easy actually.
Okay, well, TurboTax Marketing got me. That's the only tax form that could come to mind.
Well, 1040 is the form for everybody.
Okay.
But 1040 Easy is the form that you use when it's very, very simple.
It's been years since I did my taxes.
I used to do my taxes when I was like 16, you know what I mean? Pretty much 16 to until my taxes got too complicated for me to do.
Well, that's what I mean. I did it until then, but I was so long ago, I don't remember what the forms are called.
If you're still using a 1040 Easy, it's pretty simple. Yeah, it's pretty easy, which is why they give you the 1040 Easy.
So that was my bad example. Some other
No. 1040 is a good example. That 1040 is everybody.
Is not easy.
Not necessarily. It can be. But then, not necessarily, because usually there's a bunch of schedules behind it that you have to put.
It's a 1040 RC, which is really complicated.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just made a tax joke.
Yeah, I wanted to hone in on that because I've had that same conversation. I feel guilty. And it's well, why do you feel guilty? It doesn't make sense. You get paid for your job and I get paid for my job. This is our job. Our job is to make this stuff really, really simple, presented in a very simple way. Exactly what you were talking about with CPA. What does a CPA do? They present something that's very, very complicated in a very simple way. And it's so simple that all it says on the summary sheet when you get your taxes done by a CPA is that this is how much you owe. This is how much you get back. That's it. And you're like, okay, got it. And then there's 100 pages behind it, depending on how complicated your taxes are. And you flip through it, you leaf through it, and you're just like, all right, whatever you say, dog. Whatever you say. Yeah. And in the same vein, I don't feel guilty when I see my CPA. Oh, I don't understand any of this. I don't feel guilty about that. That's not my job. My job is to do my job.
Yes. And,
it's interesting that parents feel this way because I think they feel like they're failing their child. They feel like they're failing their child. Man, I'm not equipped enough to do this with them. I'm not a good parent because I don't know. Wow, you guys are really good at this stuff and you guys understand this stuff at a deep level and you understand how to get my child's life goals out of them. And then you understand how to find jobs that fit those life goals. And then you understand how to help them find learning opportunities to learn the skills to get those jobs. And it's man, I'm like a failure for not knowing that. And it's like, no, you're not a failure for not knowing that. Like, you're busy. Whatever your job is, that's what you do.
Yes. Well, the parent's job is the decision. The parent's job is the final decision with their child, and only the parent can do that.
That's erroneous though, too. It's not the final decision, because not only the parent can do that, but the young adult can do that too.
I mean, but as a family, like the family's job is to make the final decision about what they're going to do. It's our job to give them all of the very simple information to go, all right, here are your 3 options. And then they decide from there. So for parents, your parenting tool set is there, but don't feel bad that you don't have the skill set to go out and do what we're doing, because you have the skill set to go out and do your work. That's what you have to do. And that's why you have that skill set instead of this one.
Exactly. And it goes back to the book that's coming out, our workbook check that's coming out. And I'd said it, I think last week's episode or the week before it. The book is definitely going to help. It is definitely going to help in all these things. The problem is it's going to take a lot of time.
That's what we keep sitting and reviewing it and just going, wow, this is going to take forever.